Well, here's the part that I did with the ball turnaround piece of aluminum. I think I got it worked out how to do it. I found the edge because they want you to make a flat spot here after you turn this to 3/8 of an inch, but I offset too much, so I got to come back with my offset for this hole here about 50 thousandths, and it'll be about perfect. But so let's get this part turned down. First thing I'm going to do is touch the edge of my work right there. Zero that. Come back 125 for the width of my cutter. Right there. Okay. Then I got to come back 625. Right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plunge in and turn back 375 thousandths to 312.312. Okay, I took a measurement of this here with a caliper. It measures 479 right now, and I need to go to 312. Okay, here we go. I just double check my measurement again. should be 350 right there. I'm gonna take a mic and measure it here. Uh, 354. Okay. Measure this again. $338. Is that right? Yeah, because that's 25, 30, 333. Yeah, 330, 332 and a half. Okay. $324. All right. We're about 312 and 6 or 7 tenths, so that'll be good right there. Okay. The reason I do the undercut is so that my tool would swing over to do the back side of this. And this is my ball taper attachment that I made with a small boring head attached to it. So I'm at the center there, right up against the work. So now I'm going to back up here a little bit and we'll start cutting it. right, that's it. Now what I got to do is I got to face the end of this here till I get a flat 3/8 of an inch in diameter, and then it gets drilled and tapped for 1/4 28. Take my caliper here. The flat's got to be 375 in diameter. Looks like we're there. Okay, now I'll get a center drill and we'll put a center in it. First, I have to drill all the way through with a 3/32 drill, and then follow that up with a 7/32, and then the hole gets tapped 1/4 28. I believe my drill is dull. gonna get a different drill. Okay, I got that drilled through there. I tried another drill, it went good. So what we gotta do now is take the 7/32 drill, and I gotta drill a hole 4/37 deep, or 7/16. Right there. Okay. Now I got to get a 1/4-28 tap, and I need to tap that. Okay. All right. That's it for this part. Now it's over to the mill. All right, I have this part mounted up in the vise on the mill. I got a 2-flute end mill here, and I need to spot face an area 3/8 wide, just like I did this side here. One thing I forgot to do, I got to find center because I got a smaller piece. Another part was 1 inch. The ball is the same width, but the material that it was mounted to, that it was on, was bigger. That's why it's different. All right, we'll change this out here a second. It'll probably work better now. see where we're at here. A little more. Another 10,000 more. Pretty close. I would say that that's gonna work right there. Okay. Got a center drill mounted in the chuck. I'm just gonna lightly touch it just to make sure that it's centered good. Come this way just a little bit. It looks good. Okay. Now I need to take the D drill and drill through to the other bore. Should do it. And this gets tapped 5/16 24. My tapping fluid. Okay. at the bottom of the hole. There's the part so far. Now what I have to do is I have to take a 1/4 inch stud, put it screwed in this end here, and mount that in the chuck, and then use that stud to hold it so I can part it off and then thread this little nipple right here. All right. I better speed that up, I guess. Make sure this stud is good and tight. Oh. Now this gets threaded 5/16 24. All right, let's thread this thing. Looks like I'm gonna have to tighten that stud up some more. Get this out of the way. Blow this off. There's our completed part. That part there gets threaded into the fuel tank on the motor. This portion here, I need to make the needle valve yet and fitting for it, and there's another compression fitting that screws in here, and that goes to the fuel mixer. Well, there it is. All the pieces are machined. The only thing I have left to do is take it apart and do a little painting. I got to paint it, and right down here there's a spacer I want to make for this gear. It's got about a 45 thousandths gap here to line the gear up with the cam gear, the crank gear with the cam gear. So I'm just going to make, they're not calling for it, so I'm just going to make a little spacer for it. And here's the oil cups right here. On the connecting rod and on the main bearings, here's the oil fill cap, or not the oil fill cap, the fuel fill cap. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the brass off and put it in a parts tumbler, and I'm gonna try to polish it good. But it's all the machine work on it is done, except for making this spacer here and the timing gear shaft where this little set screw is down here. I tightened that up to leave a mark on this shaft here, so I got to machine a little flat in that, but I figured that has to come out anyway. So but it's ready to be taken apart, cleaned and painted and put back together. Then we'll see if it's going to run. Well, the hit and miss motor, all the parts are machined, fitted. Now I can take it apart and get everything cleaned up real good. I want to try to polish the rough cast brass. Like I said, I'm going to put that in a vibratory parts tumbler and see if I can get that shined up a little bit. But wow, this is a lot of work. A lot of hours. I can't even begin to think how many hours I have in this thing. Probably the last week of January. Granted, I had 3 weeks where I didn't work on it almost, because I was working on getting the mill done, but and I learned a lot. I mean, no doubt about it. Anytime you do a project, why, you always learn something. So I would say probably in the next week I hope to maybe have it running, and I'll bring it back for a video on that. But until then, I appreciate everybody who's followed along, commented. It means a lot. And if anybody wants to try doing one of these, I'd say go for it. I mean, you're going to make mistakes and that kind of thing, but that's how you learn. So, and I made one. I made a big one with the cylinder head by drilling the valve holes in the wrong location. But hey, we recovered from it, and it should be good. So hope everybody's having a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.